Okay, good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. Gentle reminder to please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And a big thank you for all your support thus far. So, right now, we'll be looking at Charleston versus New York Red Bulls 2 in the USL. And we'll be looking at this particular game because one Nicque Daley, right, was featuring in this one. And you guys know that Nicque Daley plays for Charleston Battery, right? And Daley is a player that I have high hopes for. I have very high hopes for him because of his age and where he's at currently in his development, right? So I have high hopes for the player and I'm very excited about covering this particular player. So Daley didn't start in this one. He came on in about the 75th minute, right? And this was Charleston's season opener. Initially they went with a 4-4-2 formation with a flat midfield four. And we saw a number of different attacking tactics in this game from Charleston Battery at different stages of the game. We saw deep long overhead balls from defenders looking for runners in behind New York's high line, right? And we saw a good amount of this in the first half, especially in the early stages of the game. We also saw where Charleston Battery fluctuated between a front press, a midfield press, and a low block, but mostly a midfield press, and especially in the last 30 minutes of the game, an intense midfield and front press, especially front press. They really, in the last 30 minutes of the game, did a really intense front press, right? A big feature of their game as well in this one is these big switches. And as a matter of fact, not only in this game, it's a big feature of their play overall, right? In just generally speaking, switching the point of attack after creating an overload on the other side of the pitch, and also moving the ball quickly from one side of the field to another. Charleston also got a couple crosses into the box as well, especially in the first half an hour. They got a couple of dangerous crosses into the box, especially from the left side of the pitch, right? From the left wing and especially the left fullback. Especially the left fullback, especially in the first 30 minutes of the game. He got forward quite a couple of times and put in a good couple of crosses. So Charleston dominated the early goings in the first 30 minutes of this one, where they were the better team in terms of possession and the amount of chances created. They also moved the ball very quickly, right? Breaking the lines and getting into Red Bull's defensive third quite regularly. But the fact of the matter is though, even though Charleston were the better team for the first half an hour, the better chances fell to Red Bulls 2 in the first half, right? The better chances fell to, even though Charleston got good chances as well, but Red Bulls got two chances in particular in the first 30 minutes of the game, in the first half an hour. And both chances for New York Red Bulls came from two similar situations, right? Charleston were getting numbers high up the pitch from goalkeeper kickouts, and they were playing with two at the back, right, of these goalkeeper kickouts. And when I saw this, I was saying to myself, they were obviously susceptible to a high frontline press from New York Red Bulls. And so said, so done. Immediately, New York Red Bulls kind of picked up on this and started pressing them very high up the pitch, right, off these goalkeeper kickouts. And at around the 10th minute of the game, New York Red Bulls did an intense frontline press, right, pressing the two Charlton players at the back who were playing or trying to play out from the back, right, pressing the two center backs, because the fullbacks were very high up the pitch, right? The fullbacks were very high up the pitch and they were pressing them because there was one visible out ball in midfield. Crazy. Two at the back and one visible out ball in midfield, right? Because the rest of the team was so high up the pitch. And the thing about it is that they weren't even trying to play overhead out balls, which made the tactic look even more crazy and even more bizarre, right? The goalkeeper played the ball to the left centre back, who tried to play that out ball, which was the holding midfielder, right? But he was in such a hurry, the left centre back was in such a hurry because of the intense high press from about 4 Red Bull defenders overall, or Red Bull players, overall. And 2 in particular was double teaming him. And so the pass centrally to the holding midfielder was rushed. And hence it was a misplaced pass. And it was set up perfectly for a Red Bull player to just run onto it, right on the edge of the box centrally, and hit it one time and blast it past the goalkeeper in the left-hand corner, right? So Charleston were down 1-0 at around the 10th minute. And the fact of the matter, what is so crazy is that it didn't seem as if Charlton were learning initially, because they were still continuing to do the same thing, right? Almost immediately after, and almost conceded another goal like that, right? Where they lost possession to a very intense front press from New York Red Bulls, right? But on that particular occasion, they got lucky that they did not concede. In the first 30 minutes, Charleston did have a couple of chances themselves as well, of the switches of play and as a result of overloads, right? So overloads on one side of the flank and they switch the play. In particular, overloads on the right side of the pitch, right? They were also moving the ball from side to side very quickly, hence shifting the New York defense, and also crosses as well. But all of these chances were either saved or went begging. So the story of the first 30 minutes, Charleston the better team, and one thing of note, they were getting the ball to the Red Bull final third relatively quickly, right? Charleston were very quick in transition in this game. And around 30 minutes into the match, right, things kind of changed when Red Bulls realized that they weren't playing through the Charleston midfield, right, let alone their defensive line. And because of this, because Charlton got a number of players back quickly behind the ball, right, so the Red Bulls started to go more direct and try to play off the second balls, which was working for them a lot better in terms of making the game more competitive, right? And it must be noted that this game was played at a very high intensity for most parts. The middle part of the game started to get a little bit scrappy though, and started to get more physical. A lot of fouls started to occur, hence resulting in a lot of stoppages, right? And disrupting the flow of the game. Also, at this point in time, both teams were constantly turning the ball over, right? Because of misplaced passes in midfield. And both teams were intensely pressing each other in the middle of the park, right? And this scrappiness carried over into the second half, right? And lasted for about 15 minutes in the second half. However, guys, the last 30 minutes of this game, and I'm telling you, Charleston just dominated, right? It was all about Charleston in the last 30 minutes of this particular game. They dominated the New York Red Bulls, pressing really high, right, and really intense, winning second and third balls, winning out balls, recovering the ball very quickly, doing some good link-up play up front, intercepting passes, right? And this in particular, intercepting a pass and, quick in transition caused the equalizer, right? All of this pressure led to a goal in the 72nd minute, right? So the last 30 minutes, Charleston were all over the Red Bulls, right? Red Bulls even looked like they were a bit tired, which is strange to me because Red Bull has already played games this season, while this was Charleston's opening game. So I don't know. It was just a little bit strange to me how Red Bulls looked tired in the last 30 and Charleston was just all over them. So Nicque Daley came on in the 75th minute for Zara Costas, a Greek-American player. When he came on, it was visible that the formation had changed because before they were using 4-4-2 with two strikers, but Daley was playing, or at least it appeared to me anyways, that Daley was playing as the lone center forward. Looked like they were playing a 4-5-1, right? And Nicque Daley didn't really have many touches in this game, right? I mean, he did a lot of pressing, made a lot of runs. Good runs. He made a lot of really good runs, but misplaced passes or misplaced crosses, or his teammates just didn't, keep or put their head up and looked for his respective runs. They just didn't have their heads up at all. He only touched the ball twice in this one. Right? He only touched the ball twice, and as a matter of fact, he came on in the 75th minute. And his first touch of the football was in the 85th minute, right? So literally he was on the pitch for about 10 minutes and did not touch the ball. That just shows you how uninvolved he was. But his first involvement in the 85th minute was good, right? A cross from the left back. Daley was in the box. Daley lost his marker, came short because it was kind of played behind him a little bit. He settled the ball, turned and took a shot with his left foot, and the shot went just wide, right? So that was his very first involvement in the game. And at this point in time in the game, for the most part, New York had everybody behind the ball because Charleston were aggressively going after the winner. And Daley's second touch was when he got to a second ball from that. It was a goalkeeper kick out, and Charleston won the first ball, and it was a header to Nicque Daley, and Nicque Daley got to it was he and another player was going for the second ball. He got to it first and impressively with one touch got past that defender and got past a second defender as well. So he beat two defenders, and when he beat those players, he was in on goal with acres of space to run into. But unfortunately, when he got past the second player, the ball, it hit off of the second defender's leg and went up onto his arm, right? And so the referee, it caught his arm obviously unintentionally, and the referee, gave a handball. So those were Nicque Daley's two involvements in this particular game. His only two involvements in this particular game. Nicque looked sharp. He looked good. But unfortunately, he only played 15 minutes. And he didn't really get a lot of service in this one. Right, so Nicque looked good. The few times he touched the ball. So hopefully he can get more game time. Hopefully he can start. And hopefully going forward, he can have a really good season this season. I am going to be watching him more and keeping tabs on this player because I think he has a very bright future. Okay, guys, that's my 2 cents. By the way, the game finished 1-1. Right? In the end, an unfair result to Charleston, but it is what it is. They were the better team. So until next time, take care, stay safe. Remember to please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And until next time.